Alright, we are up and running, folks. Hello, Internet. How we doing? Doing the cat tonight. Start work on Kabuto because I need a break from... I think I have an idea of what to do. It's kind of not what I was wanting to do with it, but I want a break from it. We'll come back around to it another day. For some reason I thought I was going to check something, and then I forgot what I was going to check. Probably that. I don't remember. But anywho, before we get to the CAD, talk about some quick blockies things real quick. I guess one other thing. But I have to go pull it up. So, they advertise the mid-league Defenders wave. You get your Justice League Batman, your Justice League Superman, along with all the other stuff they had on display. And I could give a shit because fuck this movie in both incarnations of it. Because I'm sorry, they're both bendable in my opinion, as I said in the Discord chat after I posted this. I'm like, I'm sorry, they're both bendable. Neither of those movies are particularly good because the core of the movie is still the same regardless of which version it is. And I didn't care for the core version, like the core of that movie to start with. So it didn't matter that one was more jokey and campy and the other one was ultra serious. It sucked both ways. Anywho, better news, we do have a leak that shows us the second Galaxy Wave for Star Wars. It is very Empire coded, as you can see, because you've got an Empire Luke and Leia, an Empire Han, technically, I guess. You've got Boba, you've got the Snowtrooper, you've got a Stormtrooper with the shoulder pad, which I think is technically a Sand Trooper. I don't remember your Stormtrooper classifications. You get R2, and you get Vader. And you get Chewie. Which, there's some weird color piece going on with Chewie. I guess for, like, her stuff? I don't know. There's something going on here. Just to highlight it. Oh, that doesn't help at all. There's something going on right here on the head, right at the chin area, that I don't know what the hell is. But yeah, I guess the other thing, let me go find a thing for it real quick. So it might take a minute. Because it's basically been since, excuse me, like Sunday or Monday when it announced? I forget. It was announced when we were done streaming. So. It would help if there was a writer thing I could shortcut the tag to, but there's not. Okay, that helps a little. So, I think I mentioned on stream last week that there was supposed to be a gacha art announcement. Kind of related to when the second season of gacha art was supposed to start according to the novel. So, they announced a new card set. And it has unfortunately upset people. Understandably so. Now, initially we get 3 gold cards. So you get Robo, the Bat, and UFO X in gold, i.e. when they return to gold at the final episode of the show. You get rainbow versions of basically Matt Pellets and Venom Mariner? Yeah. And then you get the Ripley versions of Battery, Flirt Rose, Angel, and or was it Orochi, basically? Yeah, Orochi. And then you get a Dead Ant Trooper, and then the security card from some episode of Gacha that I don't remember, because this is from, like, just before Rainbow debuted. And then these are from various Dread-associated appearances. These are from towards the end of the show after Rainbow debuted. What has people upset is not pictured here. Thanks. There's also a binder. 1 second. God damn it. Spin dash. Help. You have the image. Do I have to go trawling through Discords to get the fucking image? Oh my god. Profile, please. Oh, I know that's helpful. Wow, none of this is helpful. Right. Ah. Thanks, Fixoku, for not having the important image on display for this article and for this release. And these are split across 2 images, but it's fucking close enough. So what this release has is the remaining 23, as you can split across these 2 images, SR variant or SR rarity Chemy cards. These are all of the Chemy cards that didn't receive an SR rarity during Gotchar's run of the show, for whatever reason. And as you'll notice, most of them are the Occult, the Ancient, the Cosmic, and the Fantastic cards. Also, these 3 Dread cards that were also SR rarity, but they didn't get released. So, ignore these. These are not important. These are not a part of that conversation. But yeah. These cards in particular are what have upset people, because I think it was a couple weeks ago, Bandai released a plastic card version, because these are regular cardboard cards, a plastic card version of all of the Chemy cards as a set, that if you wanted basically a complete version or complete set of Gacha cards all in the same rarity, at least show accurate rarity, there you go. Except here's the SR cards that were presumably the show rarity, because that was the one with all the DX toys. Which, the long and short of it is to say, Bandai kind of, like, fucked up in terms of planning. And kind of, like, put 2 things out to, like, solve one problem. And it's just kind of stupid. I will say, I have no horse in this race, because I do not desire the, like, 101 Chemies that were in the show. I desire a set of the Legend Rider Chemies, because that is what I care about. See the... God, I don't even know the runtime at this point of all the time I've put into, like, doing 3D CAD designs for all of the Chemies. See all that time I've put into doing 3D models for all these Glorbos. So, yeah. But yeah, this sucks because it's it caused a lot of people to like buy a set that they didn't necessarily want to, but wanted a full set of Chemy cards that matched. At least that like match in a show accurate way, because I think all of the Chemy cards got released in commons and rares, just not in SRs in the SR, the super rare variety. And I honestly don't know why they did. I feel like that last EX2 set kind of, I don't know what they were thinking with that EX2 set, but it was like it was like a stupid decision and a half. Just to showcase that set. Because I still have basically the official Gotchard website bookmarked to this day. Because I feel like it. Yeah, EX2, which was the last like booster set they released. So it had stuff that made sense. Here's your 4, or here's your 2, or your 4 movie cards for Gotchard and Daybreak. So for their movie forms. Here's the Kamidon card from the 2 episodes in the show. Here's Level X Replicamies. Here's the like all of the contest winning Gotchard cards, or Legend Rider Chemy cards. So there's all them. Then there's these, I forget the rarity for them. GR cards, which are different style than the GR cards they did before, because those had Rider plus Chemy. These have Rider and then a little stylized Chemy on the side. And for some reason, this set has Wind. The other set didn't. And it does not have Eld or Dorado from the show. Also, both of these cards confirm that Legends Chemy is just Legend Chemy. Boo. Then the alt arts for the Legend Rider cards. And then the dumb part. The stupid dumb part. You have these, what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These 5 Gav cards. Then alts for, I think, all 5 of them. Yep. And then, 6 plus this one. I think the other 5 were just alt arts. That might be an alt art. I don't remember. And then you have decade-style versions of the Legend Rider Chemy cards. Which, granted, 3 of them showed up in the movie. But we basically have Kuga all the way through Gotchard plus Legend himself. And that was the rest of the set. Now, I think card size-wise, this is fine. Because I think it matches the other EX set. But, like, we could have had space for anything else. We could have had another EX set. To, like, do rest of the Chemy stuff instead of, like, these Gav cards. Because honestly, like, this one's nice as a stand-in for a Gav Legend Rider Chemy card. But, like, why is there a Kuga one? I understand why there's a Gotchard one. Like, these two make sense. Why is there one for the fucking bike that's on the sword for the Gochizos? Why is there one for Punch? Like, why all of these? It's frustrating. It's especially frustrating for me because and planning out things. That was not GBG bar. I think it was stolen too, pulling from the one set. So don't mind me. I thought about using these cards as stand-in for the Gotchard Legend Rider Chemy cards, since it has Rider plus the main Chemy associated with them. So you have Gotchard plus Hopper 1, Dayplate plus his version of Hopper 1, Balvarod plus Mach Wheel, Dread plus the Repley Steamliner, the Jade plus Unicorn, Legend plus, I call it Gorgeous Laxion because I am not calling it Legend Chemy. It deserves a proper fucking name, damn it. But then they're like, here's this other set that also has wind in it because we didn't make a wind one for this version. And we also didn't make an Elden Dorado ones, even though we had plenty of time to do both of those. So it doesn't have all of the Gotchard Riders in them. It's annoying and frustrating, and I'm hoping that a Legend Rider Chemy set will fix that. I hope. God knows they're gonna find a way to fuck that up to piss me off, because there is no way in hell they don't like fuck up that Legend Rider Chemy set in some capacity that's gonna piss people off. They're gonna. It's gonna be really stupid. Like, I will accept if they decide to put some new cards with, like, a premium deluxe version of the Legend Driver, because that's... Sorry, I was staring at a Transformers chat because some hints got dropped, and I was like, what the fuck am I reading? But yeah, like, I fully expect the premium deluxe Legend Driver to probably have new cards. And then the set will have, like, all of the associated ones. Because I've talked about this before. Like, basically, like, number-wise. Just to pull it up. Since I have the spreadsheet for this. If we were to get, which I think they should, all mains, all secondaries, it should be, plus, with the ones we have, which is... What is that? 20... 2, 4, 5... 25 plus... I mean, that's 40 plus... Is it 19? 1, 2, 3, 4... 64... That's 64. I forgot what our total count is. That was zoom out, not in. Or zoom in, not out. That's what? 9, 18, 7, 36, 45, 54, 63, 72, 81, 90, 99 times 12. 108. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So it's 115 existing Chemies plus 15 plus 12. That's 127. That would cover everyone existing plus, or everyone up through Geats in terms of mains and secondaries and like the extra ones that they've done. Plus the remaining 12 main riders, which if we just got like this with all mains and secondaries, that'd be nice enough because folks could then just go and grab the rest of these because these exist elsewhere. That'd be fine. Like all of these were basically the same EX set or same booster set, so it's not like the biggest deal in the world, but yeah, I'm kind of expecting them to do something stupid and dumb at this point. Oh well. Anywho, we're doing Kabuto tonight. We're starting Kabuto tonight. A little better. Let's go with the light blue. So, as you can see, the arms are supposed to be floating off. We're not doing that. What I'll probably do is move the arms up. Probably have them just peg into here. So we'll just have a hole here and the arms will just swivel on that point. Otherwise, basically this entire body we'll probably just have this entire body just be one piece, and then the wings are just separate pieces on top of that. That'd just be easy enough to do. Head would probably just have a little like round connections that can kind of like tilt back and forth. I probably will have these on joints just to make them print easier. And if we're doing that, I was thinking about having the head, this horn be separate, but if we're splitting off the head, there's no reason to have the horn separate. So that should be easy enough. Yeah, that is the plan. Also, you'll probably hear more about this tomorrow because I want to talk to Zombie about it. But Sound Out on his stream decided to drop the hot take that Assault was the best Star Fox because it innovated with its third-person shooter gameplay. It had been long enough since Assault that I was like, I don't know if I want to call him out on that one, but I'm gonna grab Assault after his stream and run through it real quick and see. Look, we're all allowed our hot takes, even if we're absolutely wrong about them, because no, God, that third-person shooter gameplay in Assault does not feel good. Coming back to it, because like I said, it's been long enough that I do not remember, because I know me and Tommy went through all of Assault on stream at some point. I have to find it. And it's probably in the batch of stuff that I haven't done yet for stream. In fact, let me check. But I distinctly remember us going through Assault on stream together. Not in that batch. Up there it is. So back in 2018 we did it. That's why I don't remember. But we played it back in 2018 and we did it together. Yeah, no. The movement is incredibly loose. it feels like you're floating a little bit. Or like, not really floating, but like kind of like you're on ice, but not necessarily slipping. It just feels like you have no like friction. It's a frictionless running. The aiming controls don't feel great. They feel loose as well, which is why everything has an auto lock in third-person mode, except for the sniper rifle, which is borderline useless outside of the one mission dedicated to it. None of the guns feel good. And apparently it was how I had the controls mapped, because the regular rifle that you get did not have like it didn't have full auto on it. It just had the charge shot. For whatever reason, I remapped the controls, fixed it, but it was like the last mission in terms of on foot stuff. So great change. Little too late to figure that one out. But even then, it still didn't feel particularly good. The enemies in all of the third-person segments are hyper-aggressive and will not give you a chance. And they all have contact damage, which is really not great when they're hyper-aggressive and after your ass all the time. A lot of the combat ends up in these really, like, constrained and claustrophobic environments that, again, does not play well with aggressive enemies, does not play well with enemies that are really placed outside of your purview a lot of the time. So you're getting bopped in the back of the head without realizing where the fuck enemies are half the time. It is also 60% of the game in terms of mission counts. Now bear in mind, there's some vehicle combat in that 60%, but the majority of the time you're spending in those missions is still on foot combat, which basically leads to about 70% of the game feeling like you're playing on foot, which sucks in a Star Fox game. You know, the rail shooter vehicle game. So yeah, no, Sana, you're wrong. Assault sucks. They made a bad game. They didn't innovate anything. In fact, third-person shooter gameplay was in Star Fox 64 first. And I'm willing to bet it somehow feels better in that game than it does in Assault. Or it feels identical, which is a fucking crime. An entire console generation later, and you still didn't figure out how to fucking do third-person shooter gameplay. Because here's the thing. I will not say no to third-person shooter gameplay in Star Fox. I don't think it doesn't have a place in the game. The thing is, it needs to be break levels. Because, by the way, along with doing Assault this last week, I've done 2 run-throughs of Star Fox 64, 1 vanilla for retro achievements, and 1 on the recomp, just because I wanted to. If the third-person gameplay was a level on your route that you're doing, and it did not take 20 goddamn minutes and contained a fucking turret segment, a long drawn-out turret segment, which, by the way, Assault does fucking twice, it could work. It just needs to not be in a giant open area that takes forever to get to the objectives, which are then in, you know, small, cramped, claustrophobic areas chock full of fucking enemies. What it needs to be is take a page from a couple of games. In fact, a couple of shooter games that are really well known and really well respected. For example, it could take level design from the Ratchet & Clank series, which are, by and large, linear levels. You don't realize they're linear levels, but they are, because you basically, all Ratchet & Clank levels basically break down to, you go to a crossroads segment, you pick a road, and then you basically will circle back around to that hub area after... hub area. And before you circle back around and get to the hub area, you get something at the end of that road. Whether it's a weapon, an item, something for progression, whatever it may be, there's something at the end of every path you choose. That is Ratchet and Clank level design basically since the franchise started, and they have never deviated from that. There are very rare times where they do a big open world segment, but the entire reason they do a big open world segment is because you're searching for something. Like in mass, because that's basically something that basically the other kind of level design that they've had since going Commando. And again, it's been that way since the franchise started. But what it could also do is take the gameplay design from Doom 2016. Hyper aggressive, go kick the shit out of your enemies if you want health or ammo. Because that is the core principle of Doom 2016's design. You want health, you want shields, you want ammo, go rip and tear it out of your fucking enemies. We don't want you to go hide in a corner to wait for your shield to recharge. We don't want you to go hide and cover. No. You are the goddamn Doomslayer. Go fucking rip a demon's head off. Now, I don't think Star Fox need to be as visceral as Doom 2016, but that core principle of being aggressive about your movements in your combat, that I think is what a third-person Star Fox segment could use. Because a lot of Star Fox's kit, at least in terms of Smash Brothers that Sakurai has put onto him, would actually benefit that. The reflector is a great option to close the distance on enemies that are in a hallway. In fact, if you time the reflector well enough, you could probably deflect shots back and like take out weaker enemies and damage stronger ones as you get close to them. The side B, that's a dodge. The Foxfire, the up B, that's a charge. That's a special that you could charge up by doing damage and stuff, and then blow through enemies once it's charged. And you can charge faster by beating enemies faster. And again, since they're linear levels, you're just going from A to B. And since it's a linear level, it doesn't need to take 20 fucking minutes to be done. So, yeah. Third-person segments can work, but it needs to be, like, not generic third-person shooter, open area, going and checking off a number of a thing you're destroying, because that's all that Star Fox Assault was. It needs to be something different. Something in line with Star Fox as a personality. Star Fox crew as a personality. They're mercenaries. They go in, get shit done, and get the fuck out. They are not paid by the hour. They're paid by the kill count. They are not paid to go onto a planet, fuck around, and find out. No, they are paid to go onto a planet, get their shit done, and go home. So let third-person shooter gameplay reflect that. Let Fox and crew drop onto a planet that they can't deal with terms of the R-Wings and Landmasters and all that. Go in, wreck shit, get the fuck out. It should not feel distinctly longer than any other segment of the game because, most importantly, it needs to be a break level. Just like how the Blue Marine and the Landmaster levels are in Star Fox 64. Because there's actually not that many levels. Like, of course, there's only one Blue Marine level. But there's only, I think, 2, maybe 3 Landmaster levels. Actually, I think there's actually only 2 Landmaster levels. And because of where they're paced, they're basically in the middle part of the game, regardless of what route you choose. In fact, this works. Is this flipped around? Might be flipped around. Use this one. But yeah. There's your one blue marine level. And then let's go back. I'm trying to remember what the Landmaster levels were. Yeah, Titania and Macbeth. Okay. Yeah, Titania and Macbeth. Because Macbeth is the train station level. Titania is the you gotta go rescue Slippy because he decided to be a dumb and get slapped to the fucking planet. And then Aquas is the only, like, blue marine planet. But it's basically one per route. Granted, the Aquas one is earlier, but also red is, I think, is the longer route because it's 1, 2, 5, 4. Wait, no. 4, 2, 4. Yeah, it's the earlier one in the segment, whereas both of these are in-game segment. Or like your last level before your big in-game pushes into either Area 6 or Belize. So having a third-person shooter level that is like a break level, basically, like instead of one of these two, like to use Star Fox 64 as an example, instead of one of these two levels being a Landmaster level, one of these being an on-foot level, means that there's a distinct, like, different gameplay you get per route. Whether it's Aqua's, a third-person shooter level, or Landmaster. Like, that's an option. Hell, the Chicken Walker is not a bad idea. It worked pretty well for what it was. I think it would have been better if the game did a lot more in having you hot swap between the R-Wing and the Chicken Walker in a level, because you don't really do that until you've beaten the game, and then you get the option to hot swap at any point, because on Corneria and Zero, the alternate route on there, you can only get on a run back. Because it's the only time you can run it, you can swap into Chicken Walker. I also think of where it's positioned at the exact same place that the route split is on Corneria in 64. Because, again, Zero is a run back of 64 in general. But yeah, having third-person shooter levels be a break level, that is still normal length of a Star Fox level. That works. But that's the key thing, is that it has to be on par with a normal Star Fox level. It should be fast, it should be fluid, it should be, like, there and done. But yeah, I have opinions about Star Fox, if you haven't noticed. If you've been listening long enough, you'll have noticed that I have opinions about Star Fox. Because if you ask me, how do they change up the Star Fox gameplay now? Simple. Different playable characters. You have a squad of 4 characters in Star Fox at any given level. Throw somebody else in the lead. And have them have something distinctly different about them. Like, they don't have to play completely differently. We didn't gotta go that far. But having every Star Fox member have something unique about them when you go through, again, use Star Fox 64 as an example. When you go through, say, Red Route, that's enough. Because what is fun and enjoyable about Star Fox is exploring these different routes, is playing the game multiple times and finding out, oh, what's this way? What's this level? How about I diverge here and go here? That's what's fun. And you know how you can make that even more enjoyable and fun to go through? By giving people different characters to play as that will change that gameplay. Some characters might be better suited for other routes. But players are only going to find out by playing them and finding out. They can also watch YouTube videos. That's not the fucking point. And I've always said that, like, hey, just follow up 64 and rework Crystal's backstory, because at this, like, I do agree we need to get past 64 in terms of the story. But I also feel like we need to get Crystal in here. But I don't feel like we need to have the baggage of Star Fox Adventures bolted onto it in order to get Crystal in here. Rework Crystal's backstory to get her on the Star Fox team without having to go through the whole rigmarole of going, she was in Adventure. Did you play Star Fox Adventures? Because otherwise, why the fuck is Crystal here? I think my pitch has always been have Crystal be someone who was a part of the Cornerian army, but Pepper realized that because of how she, like, flies and stuff, she's not a good fit for the Cornerian army. But she's a perfect fit for Star Fox. And guess who's in need of a new pilot? Star Fox, because Peppy is looking to take a back seat. He's looking to basically retire. Or not necessarily retire, he's looking to take a more, like, overseeing, commanding role of the team. Just running the Great Fox alongside Rob because he's getting up there in age and, well, it's a young man's game. He wants to take a step back and he's looking for someone to fill his seat. Oh, look, Peppy recommends Crystal. You could contextualize the, like, a training level, basically. Because, God, do you not need a... God, the first thing players do need is, like, training level. No. Have training be separate. Just drop people in and go. Like, Star Fox 64 drops you in and goes, and the game tutorializes you the entirety of Corneria. That's the entire point of Corneria. It tutorializes you and tells you how to play the game. Everything you need to know is told to you and given you a situation for you to fucking do it in Corneria. Anyway. Crystal comes in, takes Peppy's slot. Or takes Peppy's seat. And now the rest of the game honestly should just be, hey, Andros is dead, but now there's a power vacuum and people are trying to, like, pile on and grab power. So you'll have, like, the remnants of Andros's army, and then other factions that have split off or have grown into power because of Andros's army. So now you have a nice variety of enemy factions to deal with, and enemies to deal with, because, oops, it's an all-out madhouse out there in the galaxy, and Star Fox is busy. Busy running calls and trying to protect people and do their job. As I say, with Crystal comes, like, the job from Pepper of just like, hey, there's unrest in the galaxy. I need you to go handle some of these groups because we are spread thin, so... And that's your route decision because, like, depending on what missions you do and where you go, you're up against different people and dealing with different situations, exactly like how Star Fox 64 is, because, again, this format is what Star Fox needs to be. The core of Star Fox should be this. This, you choosing where you go depending on how well you do in the missions. That's it. It is not something complicated. And so mixing in a Blue Marine level, a couple of Landmasters level, a couple of third-person shooter levels, even bring back the Chicken Walker, because by God, do we not want the gyrocopter back. Fuck off. That was bad. That was a bad decision. No gyrocopter, please. Replace the gyrocopter with the third-person shooter segments, please. But that should be Star Fox. That's your Star Fox sequel. And if you want like more plot and character stuff, basically have it be that like every member of Star Fox is basically trying to find themselves throughout the game. Fox is trying to find himself in a leadership position, or Falco's thinking of leaving because it's like, hey, he thinks he's cut out to lead the team, but maybe he doesn't. Maybe you realize he's not all that shit, all that he is. Slippy thinks he's holding the team back, and maybe he needs to take a back seat. But over the course of the game, he figures out, no, I can handle myself. Crystal feels like she needs to live up to, like Peppy, live up to the Star Fox name, and Peppy's role in the team. But of course, her thing is just, oh, I just need to be me and just do things my way, and it works. I don't need to be Pepper, I just need to be Crystal. And then Fox trying to lead the team while all this is going on. You gonna have Starwolf show up, and maybe have like a rival fight with Starwolf because they find themselves on opposite sides. Because I would also say, hey, put the Star Fox game out. Have different characters. And hell, you can unlock some bonus characters depending on the route you go. Bro, you want to play as Cat? You want to play as fucking Cody and like some of the other characters that are playable in Command? Find them in the route. Beat specific planets on specific routes, and you unlock them. Like the voice acting and stuff doesn't need to like go super by who you're playing as, but like there you go. There's some extra unlocks and stuff. Finding little things on your routes to unlock stuff. But like 6 months down the road, since Nintendo likes doing its DLC expansions, guess what? Here's a Starwolf expansion to the game. For like $20, you get maybe like a more linear route. Or maybe a chop down, like not necessarily 3 routes, but 2 routes. For like the Starwolf team. And if you beat that, oh hey, you can do the Starwolf. You can play as the Starwolf characters in the Star Fox campaign. And if you beat the Star Fox campaign with the Starwolf character, you now get to play the Star Fox characters in the Starwolf campaign. Oh look, you've added value to both campaigns with one expansion. It's not that fucking hard to figure out a Star Fox game. This ain't that complicated, folks. I wish it wasn't. Also, I've been sitting here talking about stuff for like an hour. It's almost like I don't like Kabuto or something, and like the thought of doing this Kabuto Chemy is just like, fine, I'll do the fucking Kabuto Chemy because fuck it. Also, God, seeing the situation with the Geetstein Chemy, I'm just like, oh hey, look, another reason for me to have glad I have stepped away from figure arts, because that shit would piss me off of just like, hey, I just want to order Geetstein. What do you mean it's in and out of stock at every fucking given opportunity? Because, oh God, I don't want to think about what my figure arts shelf would look like adding in the rare shows I like. Because my figure arts rule was basically main, secondary, plus any additional, like, heroic riders. And then main rider final forms. So like for 0-1, that's like, well, yeah, that's like 0-1, Vulcan, Valkyrie. That's your core trio. But then it's like, well, Spitsuba Jinrai count, I guess. Kind of. I don't know. I don't know if I would cut them. Skip over Saber. Revice. Let's see. That would be Revi and Vice. And then Evil and Live. And then Jean, Aguilera. And then Love Cove. And then I guess Demons. I would probably skip Demons, to be perfectly honest. I probably also skip Juga because I just don't give a shit about Juga. I'll be perfectly honest. And then Geats would be like, well, yeah, I would like I think I would just go with the core 4, what they've put out, which is like Geats, Tycoon, Nago, and Buffa. Like, I probably wouldn't bother with Punk Jack, and it would at least have the 4 of them with their main buckles. So, like, Geats with Magnum Boost, Tycoon with Ninja, Nago with Beat, and then Buffa with Zombie. I would also like the other 3 with Boost, but, like, pretty sure they haven't done a female leg version of Boost, because fuck you. I am so glad Soto decided to do a uniform body for Geats, because that makes Geats swapping around forms and stuff for Geats so much fucking simpler. As much as it can be, with the little extra accoutrements that, like, specifically Tycoon and Nago have, because that, like, those two complicate it a little bit, unfortunately. I think Gotcha would probably just be the core trio, maybe plus Daybreak, so like the core 4 of them. Because I don't think I would bother with Dread, and I definitely am not bothering with fucking Wind. Piss off with Wind. All right, we'll probably go top down to start with. I need to check. Where's my off blade? Basically, I just need the how long I made him. 50. Cool. And then I closed that, and I forgot to take a measurement of how wide I made that man. Oh, okay. I thought the preview image, I was like, what? Why does that look? Oh, okay. The hair kind of like OLS's. And now I've lost it. Why have I lost the Kabuto? Or not the Kabuto. Blade Chemy. Am I blind? I should probably just open it up here. I don't know why I was trying to do it elsewhere. I am a little out of it apparently, folks. 50 by 30. Double check. If it hasn't obvious, I'm a little out of it. We are at like the 50th week of me doing this. Not necessarily in a row, but the 50th week in general, I think. I'm trying to remember how long it's been since I took a break from this on the Thursdays. It might just be time for me to take a break from it for a little bit. We might finish up Kabuto, and I might need to do like 3 or so weeks of just retro achievement stuff. Um, we just mirror this. How does the Kabuto sector itself? Because the Chemy is based off the Zector. For those that don't know. Just to show it. Like, this is what the Chemy is based on, which is the main transformation device for Kabuto. Because basically, the Zectors are just these mechanical insects that you just slot into your belt or brace or weapon in Kabuto, and that lets you transform initially into a masked form for most of them. And then you, like, do something to go into the rider form. So this is what the Zector normally looks like. And then you do the cast off, and that's what the Zector looks like. And then there it is in the belt. It's not necessarily uniform. I think there's a fill-in option. There's a fill-in option, but I'll just do it this way. I'm not necessarily sure where these are going to end up right now. Okay, so 50 goes all the way. That makes sense. I probably want more in the back and then less, or more of a curve in the back and then less in the front, basically. Yeah, that makes sense. Does the shape work? I think we'll go the shape. And then I forgot how thick. I forgot how thick to make it. Making all the mistakes today. Measuring. Let's measure the there. Really just make that 7. I go 13. That's our back. That's our front. Wanna fill at that edge a little. Not gonna kill us. Drop that down. Okay. Worry about it later. In 4. Center. There is center. What's 20 look like? That's too big. Yeah. Here we go. Don't want to come up too far. B. Oh dear. Okay. Whoop. That should. Come on, operate. Go with that. Close it up. I have to do this. Okay, no. Okay, that's better. They're yelling at me. Like that better. Let's bring that a little bit more. Yeah, maybe up a little bit more. Go there. That across there. That's our counting points for our wings. Let's do it 5 by 5. Dun, dun, dun. Three. Wait, 3. Now you're cooperating. call it. As oh, hold on a minute. That works. Guys won't worry about that. Side. Kind of fine without that. probably make those buttons separate now that I think about it. Be easier. Probably have the mount here, drop down. Easier to print. That's oh, thank God that did line up. Okay. Or that one lined up as well. Yes. Fantastic. Okay. There's our holes for the legs. Um hang on. On each side. 3 might work. Okay. Assembly. Put that in there. See if I can get those wings. Sit down more on it. I don't have a notification, but it's why. Okay, let's get the feet made. Let's knock out basically 5 parts on one stream. Beep, 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 beep. Oops. Oh, actually, no, that doesn't matter. Weird. All right, so we need to come out a lot more. That enough? We don't really need the body anymore tonight. All right, that's out enough. We could probably go a millimeter less. Yeah, that works better. You just have to make the foot part bigger. Oh, 6. That's better. All right. I'm just going to insert like 3 more of them. There we go. Liking it so far. Okay, we will stop there for tonight. Real quick, though. Check Blocky's update. I've been doing the Ava updates recently, so it might be another Ava update. Yes. So they're doing a fancy Legend Edition for TV show Ava 01 that includes a corpse of one of the angels that it beat at the start of the show. I don't know which one it is, but it's something for your corpse collection in toy form, because that is a surprising amount of things for whatever reason. But anywho, we'll stop there for night. Actually, I might as well do this. So, schedule for the week. Tomorrow we're gonna do Zenless event thing that's going on at the moment, and then it's gonna be some old friend of mine, WrestleMania 19 for Trails from the Cube. Saturday we're gonna do some Slay Aspire 2 before we do whatever Tommy feels like for Saturday, since we are done with Multi-World Madness. And Sunday will be the usual Fort Niff, plus the two of the Kyoryuger movies. It's Kabuto music and the Kyoryuger versus Go Busters movie is the two we're covering. So, hooray! I have to watch one of those tomorrow. But yeah, that will do it. So if you like what you're seeing, folks, drop a follow. Really appreciate it. Exclamation point to YouTube and Jackie's YouTube archive for this and all our streams. All of our remaining TGSR backlogs are going up by Sunday. So basically the rest of those, and then the back end double that we didn't cover in the old format, are going up into Sunday. I will probably sit down tomorrow, start getting TGSs sorted, and then get those scheduled starting Sunday. So 2019 TGSs are going to go up. Kind of want to get those done now. Since they're kind of next on the list. But yeah, that's like one category of thing done. Which I'm excited about. We don't have too much more left. It's going to slow down because we're hitting the point where we didn't do pre-show stuff. So there's not 2 streams I have to schedule for a day or per slot. There's only the one, so hooray. But that is going to like slow things down. But it should reach a point where I will have scheduled everything. And then I basically am only scheduling videos Sunday night for the Monday after. Which, that's nice. That'll be nice. But that's the YouTube schedule at the moment. Next push point, social and chat. We'll give you handles for our social media so you know when we're live. Next push point, Discord and chat, listen, drop by, say hi. See you tomorrow, folks.